Hello everyone, my name is Professor Gillian McCann and I wanted to welcome you to RLCT 2116, Health, Healing and Religion. This is a topic that I have researched in and taught in for many years, and it's very close to my heart. And I'm hoping that I'll get to know you a bit. I know it's obviously harder when we're online, but I'm going to be asking you in the discussion boards to tell me a little bit about who you are, what your major is, why you're taking the course, etc., just so that I can get to know you a little bit and your classmates can get to know you. So I wanted to spend this first lecture welcoming you and talking about the expectations of the course. So I'm going to be working through the syllabus, and I'm just going to use a variety of backgrounds just to change it up a little bit. So without further ado, we'll move on to looking at the syllabus. So as I say in the beginning of the syllabus, if you ask most people about the connection between health, healing, and religion, the majority of people, I'm willing to wager, would not see a connection. And if they did see a connection, they would understand it as being a negative one. And they'd think of things like religious groups that don't allow blood transfusions and so on. So what I'm going to be talking about in this first part of the course often is very counterintuitive for people. And so we're going to be looking at a number of different articles that examine this linkage. And then we're going to be moving into the larger concepts of the course. And then we're going to be looking at examples. So we're going to be looking at conceptions of health, which I think people sort of assume they know what that means, and then when they really examine it, we don't think about it very much. What do we mean by health? So I'm going to spending quite a bit of time talking about that at the beginning of the course and asking you to think about what you mean by that word. And then we're going to talk about different examples. So Indigenous, Chinese, Christian, South and East Asian, and New Age approaches to healing, as well as Judaism and Islam. So I'll be using various examples as we go through. So just for example, when we look at Buddhism, I'm going to be looking at an example of Buddhist-inflected treatments for addiction. So this is going to include video clips, articles that you'll read online, and the course pack. So I'll get to that now. So the course pack, as I said in the announcement, is available through Print Plus. You have to contact them, pay them, and then they'll mail it to you. I realize this is a bit unwieldy. I'm actually in the process of getting access to a full textbook, but that won't be available for probably another year, so we just have to work with what we've got. There's really nothing yet in the field that looks at it the way that I'm looking at it in this course. So often books on health, healing, religion are extremely medicine focused, which is great, but that's not what we're doing here in religious studies. Okay, so you'll need to order that course pack. And so I always say, to do well in the course, you need to do all the readings, you need to watch all the clips. I strongly emphasize taking notes as you go. It's a very good way of jogging your memory and putting it into your memory. Also, I just want to go through the method of evaluation. So your first assignment will be a reflection paper. And I'll be going into more detail about this in one of the further lectures, where I'm asking you to think of a metaphor for your own body. Don't panic. I'm going to explain what I mean by this. Then you'll reflect on it. That's worth 15%, and it's due May 13th online through Blackboard. Then May 27th is a second reflection where you write about the concept of health. So what is health? That's also 15%. Then there's a final essay, and I'll be putting a list of potential essay topics on Blackboard. You're also welcome to create your own topic. I actually prefer that if you are interested in something, but you do need to just run it by me to make sure that it works in religious studies. Then there is a final, I'm calling it a take-home, where you can work on it at home over a number of days, and then submit it through Blackboard. And then participation is 10%, and that is for substantive comments on the Blackboard discussion boards. Just to note that this is an image of the medicine Buddha. I'll be talking about this figure when we get to the section on Buddhism, but just to be going on with. Okay, so the syllabus is our contract with one another, so really read through that. It answers a lot of the questions that you will probably have about the course going forward. Obviously, it's very compressed when we do it in the spring like this. So I'm going to ask you to review the section on plagiarism, which includes the use of AI. And if you have any questions about that, you need to contact me so that we can establish what that is, because any form of plagiarism is unacceptable and you will receive an immediate 0. Okay, so I just wanted to look through the weeks here. Week 1, we will do the introduction to the course. We'll talk about paradigms of healing and the idea of what is health. Then we'll start by looking at shamanism, which is the oldest known form of religious practice in human history. And then we'll look at neo-shamanism, which is its kind of modern day iteration. Then we're going to be looking at indigenous traditions and approaches to health and wellness in indigenous traditions. In week 2, we're going to be looking at the religious roots of Western medicine, and I have an image here of Jesus healing. And obviously, I'll talk about this in more depth when we get to the section on Christianity, but a great deal of the Gospels has to do with the healing miracles of Jesus, and we will be talking about that. So the roots of Western medicine come out of the ancient Greek tradition, but also out of Christianity. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about views of the body and health in Judaism and Christianity in week 2. So all the readings that go with that section can be seen on the syllabus on the right-hand side under required readings. And that will also include any clips or article links that I have included on Blackboard. So week 3 is Eastern systems of healing, where we move into Hinduism and Buddhism and Chinese traditions. So the first one we'll be looking at is Hinduism and healing, Ayurveda, and the link between microcosm and macrocosm. And we'll be having you do an Ayurvedic quiz so you can find out what dosha you are, and by the end of the course you'll know what I mean by that. So moving on, we'll be looking at Buddhism and the idea of the Buddha as the great physician, and all the different forms of healing systems that have come out of the Buddhist tradition into the present. In week 5, we'll be looking at Chinese systems of healing, including a traditional Chinese medicine, which is becoming increasingly popular in the Western world. And then we're going to be looking at the practice of healing dreams across tradition, and we'll be ending with what I'm calling healing in the New Age. So the various forms of healing that come out of the counterculture and the New Age movement, such as Reiki, therapeutic touch, these different approaches to health and healing, and reimaginings of the human body, and then we're going to have a conclusion at the end. So my hopes for this course are obviously that you engage with the material that I'm assigning, but the larger goal is that you think about these issues of health and healing, and I hope that they have resonance in your own life and in your own practice. I'd be very interested to hear about that, and perhaps we can talk about it in the discussion boards. So I'm going to conclude this section, and we're going to move on to starting into the material of the course. So welcome to Health, Healing, and Religion.